For my philosopher, I chose Jean Rousseau. He was from the 1700s, just before Maria Montessori really kind of started doing her thing. He began his career as a philosopher at about 37 years old after winning a writing contest with his thesis. His perspective on education is that you should teach what is useful to children now, not information that they're never going to do anything with or that's not useful to them now. And you should teach them what they need that they're going to be building on, not specifically just what is useful right this second, but it should be centered up and focused on what they need right now. You should provide the child the freedom to pursue their activities, because that's what's going to allow them to gain an interest for the things that they're working with and studying. And his perspective was that you should take their interest and capitalize on that for his education. And he was very much against the idea of book learning and lecturing. He didn't believe that you could give somebody a book and let them read it, or tell somebody information and then learn it. He believed that in order for a child to learn, they had to act firsthand. Everything they did, they had to do. They could absorb information through things like reading or lectures, but they didn't learn anything from them. Montessori then took a lot of what he said and reiterated it in a more palatable manner. Things like child-directed learning and using concrete over abstract methods and learning through observation were all things that Rousseau had said with slightly less eloquence. Eloquence. There we go. I can speak. Do what? So the example I would give of this is I actually had a student in my class who has a sensory processing disorder. And he would continue to go back to materials that he had previously completed rather than moving on, because he had a really hard time moving on. And you could sit down and show him how to do something as many times as you wanted. You could explain it to him in as many ways as you could imagine. But he wouldn't understand these things. He needed to physically get his hands on things and manipulate them. And if you could sit there with him and work through a material alongside him, let him do the work, he would progress and make great strides. But if you sat down to show him or you explained it to him, he would have no idea what he's doing. And he actually, throughout the course of this last school year, made almost no progress as a result of that. I have a quote here from Maria Montessori that shadows Rousseau's philosophy. She said, "Do not tell them how to do it, show them how to do it. Do not say a word. If you tell them, they will watch your lips. If you show them, they will want to do it themselves." And I have a quote from Rousseau that is kind of the embodiment of his philosophy, and in a lot of ways is the embodiment of Montessori's philosophy as well. This is his perspective on teaching science. "We should not teach children the sciences, but give them a taste for them.